Let's make a sandwich, shall we? A mortadella, pesto, and fresh mozzarella one at that. Who would have thought that placing meat, cheese, veggies, and condiments between two pieces of bread would end up being one of the biggest contributions to gastronomy? So I say let's place some meat, cheese, veggies, and condiments between two pieces of bread, shall we? Let's make some pesto. There are a few ways to make pesto. You can use a blender or you can opt for a food processor. Both options are fine and they both create a great tasting pesto. Both these options, when used, the blades create heat, which in turn can affect the taste of the pesto. Both these options, while spinning, introduce air into the pesto, which overall can dilute the taste a little bit. These two options can also create a foam-like texture by rupturing the plant cells and separating the water from the starch, creating a foamy pesto. These two options are perfectly fine. They still will create a great tasting pesto. They save time and can just be an easier way. And I won't be mad at you if you end up using one of these options. I still love you all, but I want to go a little bit more traditional in the pesto that we're going to make today, which in Italian basically means pound. So let's get pounding by using a mortar and pestle. This technique will create a luxurious, rich flavored pesto, but when all pestled together, creates an incomparable, beautiful pesto. So let's start by adding some salt and garlic and mash away until you get a nice creamy texture. And then add some pine nuts and mash away again until you get a nice creamy texture. Now we're gonna add some basil. If you can use a young or sweet basil, all the better. It'll just give it that extra sweetness the pesto deserves. This method of the mortar and pestle is better for breaking down the cell walls and fibers of the basil, which will just give you a better overall taste. Next, I'm gonna add a little bit of Reggie and a little bit of Pecorino Romano. I'm gonna mash the cheese just a little bit, not too much, and then we're gonna finish it off with the best extra virgin olive oil that you can buy. And then finish mashing it all together to finish off the pesto. Look at that end result, creamier, thicker, the aroma, woo! Next, we're gonna chop or shred up some iceberg lettuce. Place in a bowl, and then we're gonna add some white wine vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, salt, freshly cracked pepper, chili flakes, and dried oregano, and then toss it all up. Now grab whatever bread you like. I'm using a long French roll. You can hollow out the insides if you want, totally up to you. Now, I'm about 9 feet short of Homer's sandwich in the Simpsons episode, Selma's Choice, one of my all-time favorite episodes. I am the lizard queen! You can slice your bread all the way through. I'm gonna slice mine about 3/4 of the way in. Time to build the sandwich. Add a nice, generous slab of that pesto. Trust me, all the time that you took to make it, it's going to be worth it. Now we're gonna add some provolone slices, as much as your bread can handle. And now we're gonna add the mortadella. Don't be shy, load it. And some fresh mozzarella. Yeah, I know. Finish it off with the iceberg lettuce. Now we're just gonna try to fold that all in. You can see I'm using a knife to kind of squish it all in and fold it over. And then you can slice it or just leave it whole. Growing up, this was my lunch, just not as fancy as this. You know, I never really appreciated it because I always wanted the Lunchables, the peanut butter and jelly, and whatever else all the other kids were having. And I did get my Lunchables and peanut butter and jelly. I just had to beg for them. I even traded a sandwich with a teacher once, and I can guarantee you, we were both happy with that transaction. But as I look back, I'm glad I had all those sandwiches of mortadella, prosciutto, and salami. Hell, I was even sent to school with leftover pasta and lasagna. But I think all of that helped open up my palate. And to that, I thank you, Mom and Dad. Now let's take a bite. Trust me when I say, take the time, make the pesto in the mortar and pestle. The mortadella is so good, fresh mozzarella, everything is perfect. So good. Oh, almost lost that. As always, full recipe in the description below. Please like and comment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, ciao.